If you go in to be diagnosed for whether or not you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery, you'll be given this form full of medical speak, and it will have all of the possible complications, and you'll be expected to sign that, as a way of foreclosing any opportunity to sue later. But they're probably not going to tell you about what, for many people, is the most serious complication of LASIK surgery gone badly, and that is the emotional complications. If you go online, there are literally dozens of websites created by angry, injured LASIK patients, and literally thousands of people have commented on those and shared their stories. You don't see this for anything else in medicine. You don't see injured knee surgery patients starting websites about knee replacement. You don't see angry heart surgery patients creating websites about their horror stories. Why is it that LASIK is so unique in this regard? Probably because there are so many horror stories. And the two dominant emotional consequences of bad LASIK are, number one, anger. I deal with this every day. First of all, anger at myself. I cannot believe, I can hardly forgive myself for being so stupid as to have not done my research, walked through the door of the Wolf Eye Clinic, and believed them when they told me I was a perfect candidate and that the procedure was almost totally fail-safe and foolproof by now. Not true. And of course, I'm still pretty angry at them. I'm sure it shows. It's funny. I teach a course on personal values. And one of the cornerstones in that course has to do with forgiveness. And yet still, even though at an intellectual level I know I need to let go of this and move on, I'm still angry. But for me personally, the reason I'm doing what I'm doing with this website, with these videos, is displacing that anger and trying to do something productive with it. And the second emotional consequence, far more serious, is depression. It is depressing. When you used to never have trouble with your eyes except putting on your glasses, and now they hurt all the time. You're always having to put in eye drops. You can't get a good night of sleep because you're waking up in the middle of the night with eye pain or eye dryness. When you can't see straight and it can't be corrected, when you know that the rest of your life is going to be like this because there is no treatment for many of these problems, it is depressing. A couple years ago, where's my glasses? A couple years ago, the FDA had a hearing in April of 2008. I just want to share with you two comments. The first was by a man named Matt Kotsavolos. He was the chief financial officer for the Duke Eye Center in North Carolina. He banked all the money they made doing LASIK. And here's what he said in this hearing. I have met plenty of people who are depressed and considering suicide because of complications that are currently buried in the LASIK device labeling and are classified merely as symptoms or side effects. This is, if there's ever an insider, it's the chief financial officer of a LASIK clinic going on to say, I think that this procedure ought to be banned until we do further studies, including on the emotional impact. Dr. Edward Boschnick, doctor of optometry who specializes in treating post-LASIK eye injury, said this: I would say that most of my patients are depressed and many are on antidepressant medication. From what I have seen and witnessed from many patients, I feel at the present time LASIK presents a significant public health crisis. Another expert, Dr. Roger Davis, he is an authority on personality disorders, and I'm looking now at this incredibly long PowerPoint presentation that is posted on, there's a link posted on my website and others. He defines something he calls refractive surgery shock syndrome. And he says the symptoms are depression, thinking of suicide, anxiety disorders, hopelessness, loss of concentration, substance abuse, sleep disorders and nightmares, guilt, and loss of self-esteem. And before I had LASIK, I talk about motivation, I talk about self-help, I write books about this stuff. I now have a tangible, personal, gut-level appreciation for everything he's talking about. And if an authority on these things like me can experience these, imagine somebody who's gotten LASIK because they have low self-esteem and want to get rid of glasses. Imagine somebody who hasn't thought about this. Imagine a young person. I mean, I was 55 when I had it done. So, if I had been 20, starting a career, starting a family with double vision and chronic constant eye pain, I could understand why people would think about doing drastic things. I want to wrap up this particular video and share with you. These are some of the comments posted on the web. There's a petition to support the work of Dr. Morris Waxler. I've mentioned on other videos, he's the man who at the Food and Drug Administration was most responsible for getting LASIK approved back in the mid-1990s. And now he's saying they submitted false, fraudulent, misleading data. They deceived the FDA into approving something that was dangerous and now is harming tens of thousands of people permanently. And he's leading the campaign to outlaw LASIK eye surgery. And more than 500 people have signed the petition to support his website. This is with no advertising or any of the big national campaigns the LASIK promoters do. This is all word of mouth. And the anger and the depression you can feel. And I just want to share with you some of the comments. LASIK has ruined my daughter's eyes and it's making her life horrible. One of more than 500. My eyes have become a disability. I suffer from severe dry eye that wakes me up at all hours of the night. I can relate. I have that same experience. Having LASIK has been the worst decision I have ever made in my life. I regret it every second. So do I. I had LASIK 5 years ago and have had painful dry eye ever since. I have spent thousands of dollars trying to control the symptoms, but there is no cure. That is a true statement. I've done the same thing. I have permanent corneal scars, have lost night vision, and suffer from extreme dry eyes. I am back to wearing glasses now and deeply regret my decision to have this procedure. It ruined it ruined my nephew's life. Another one, LASIK ruined my husband's eyesight. It nearly ruined our lives. That next one, dry eye syndrome has substantially ruined my life. Next one, LASIK ruined my life. That is the most common comment you see on this of 500. The most common comment you see is LASIK ruined my life. That is depressing. Far worse than the fact that you have to put in eye drops or the fact that you have to wear chamber goggles, as some people do, is the fact that it is just so depressing. Before you let them cut on your eyes, before you let them cut on the eyes of a loved one, read these comments and ask yourself, what if it was me? How could I live with the fact that in a completely optional, completely elective, completely non-essential procedure, I allowed them to cut into my eyes and, at least in the case of many of these 500 people, ruin my life?